Hello, welcome back. Welcome back. I am so glad to see you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for continuing in this journey. It has been a few weeks now, and we still have a few weeks to go, but you have not given up. You're still showing up, and that is honorable. So, thank you for that. And I hope that you are thanking yourself because you're not doing this for me. You're doing it for you. You're doing it for you. You're doing it for those that you're connected to. You are doing it for everyone that God has ordained and preordained to come in contact with you. You're doing it for your family. You're doing it for your children, even if you don't have any yet, or even if maybe God is not going to give you more physical children, but He's going to give you spiritual children, meaning you won't birth them, but there will be a connection. You're doing it for the place that God is going to send you. You're doing it. Maybe you'll be working in a hospital soon. Maybe you will be having a business and running it soon. Everything that you invest in yourself will be multiplied, and God is going to do it. So tell yourself thank you if you haven't already. I want to talk about multiplication today. I want to talk about it. It's important. We've been we've been going through some concepts and I want to make sure your perspective is aligned. A lot of times in our humanity, we will see what we don't have, and that will limit our view of what God is doing. You got to know this. You got to know how sight works. And I wish I had time to talk to you more about sight, spiritual sight. It's not too different than natural sight. It's not too different. As a matter of fact, if I cover one of my lenses, I will only be able to see a limited view of what's around me. And there's a thing called grief that many of you are dealing with in many different ways. And grief comes to limit your sight because it directs your eyes to what you lost, what you don't have. It begins to put you into a perception of deficit. And this soon leads to despair. And this then connects to disappointment. And then this drains faith. So it's important that we have a perspective shift, that we make sure our eyes are in alignment with what God is doing. And you will hear me say sometimes, come higher. If you haven't heard me say this, it's one of my favorite phrases, but I usually reserve it for my coaching spaces. This is kind of a coaching space, so I'll tell you what it means. It simply means that the higher you are, the more you see. And if you've been on an airplane, you know this. If you've traveled on an airplane, if you've been on an aircraft, you know that as the altitude increases, you begin to see the entire city. And soon enough, what once looked large starts to look small. You'll be like, oh my gosh, is that downtown Houston? It looks like a dot from here. And that is because the higher you sit, the more you have in view, and therefore the things start becoming smaller. But when you're up close, things look huge. So I would say come higher. That means reposition your eyes. That means ascend, 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 just like an airplane. Don't just look at what's in front of you. Ask the Lord to take you higher so you can see the world how He sees it. And when this happens, things become separated from your emotions. When you look at things and you keep on rehearsing things and you keep on looking at what you lost, what you don't have, how things aren't going your way, soon enough you'll be angry, frustrated, and God forbid you won't even want to live because what you've been looking at and the emotions that have been attached are so strong, they will begin to drain your strength, your vitality, and even your hope. So I say to you right now, come higher. Come higher. We have a lot more to discuss, but this lens of grief has to be addressed. You can grieve and come higher at the same time. It just requires a conscious shift. It requires a conscious shift. I want to tell you quickly that God is a God of multiplication. He knows what you have lost. He knows what you in your heart, in your mind, and in your brain have been rehearsing as far as not having enough. Maybe you've been thinking, I don't have enough of this in my relationship. I don't have enough of this in my life. I need more of this. I lost this. And so now I won't have enough. This is a lens of loss. And we got to shift before we go on. We have to shift. We have to come higher. We have to reposition our eyes so that we can see what God is doing, because healing requires ascending and keeping your eyes on what God is doing, so that as you look, he heals and he reprograms. Oh, that's the formula of healing, if you would understand it. As you look at your maker, as you look at your maker, as you look at God, as you keep your you keep your eyes on him. As you look at God, he does everything else. He recalibrates as you look at him. As you fix your energy on him, as you fix your focus on him, he does everything else. So we got to make sure that when our eyes drift to what we don't have, or what we didn't get, or how life isn't looking how we want it to, we got to make sure we pick up our focus, bring back our attention, bring back our energy, and redirect it to God, because he's the only one that can heal, set free, save, realign, perfect, establish, fulfill, and multiply. So I want to read this. This is good. This is a story about Jesus. It's not just a story, it's reality. I'm hesitant to say story because sometimes our childhood memories will begin to take us to this fantasy place. No, this is real life. My son will sometimes say, Mommy, is this fiction or nonfiction? Oh, this is real. This is not a fairy tale. This is the Bible. So Matthew 14. If you have a Bible, I want you to go with me. I can read it to you, but there's something that will happen in you when you begin to read it for yourself. There's something that will happen. It's a part of your healing when you begin to engage the Word of God. If you're interested in not just managing your symptoms, and if you're interested in every part of your being being restored, you gotta go ahead and engage the Word of God. It is the surgeon's scalpel. Remember, this is surgery. The Word of God is the surgeon's scalpel. All right, Matthew 14. I want to read this verse 14. It's talking about Jesus. When he went ashore, he saw a large crowd, and he felt profound compassion for them and healed their sick. Don't forget, God is your physician. Verse 15, when evening came, the disciples came to him and said, "This is an isolated place, and the hour is already late. Send the crowds away so that they may go into the villages and buy food for themselves." King James Version says, verse 15, and when it was evening, his disciples came to him saying, "This is a desert place, and the time is now past. Send the multitude away that they may go into the villages and buy themselves victuals." So what's happening here is that Jesus and his disciples have now come into an atmosphere that is likened into a desert. People don't have enough. A desert is a dry place. A desert is known for being dry. It's it's representative of dehydration, not having water, that which promotes growth, that which promotes health, that which makes the systems begin to appropriate. Okay. So the disciples in their humanity they say we're in a desert place, send the people away so that they can get food. And then watch what Jesus says, verse 16. But Jesus said to them, "They do not need to go away. You give them something to eat." Verse 17, they replied, "We have nothing here except 5 loaves and 2 fish." And then verse 18, Jesus says, "Bring them here to me." So we're going to read more, but let's pause. The disciples essentially say, we don't have enough. All we have is 5 loaves and 2 fish. And I want to challenge you, because as you're going through this content, you can be listening to some of the things I say. You can be listening to some of the roles that I describe, and you can say, "Well, I didn't get this. I don't have enough. My dad didn't do that. My mom didn't do that. People haven't done that for me. God hasn't done that for me. I didn't experience that. All I got was this." This is the lens of not enough. But Jesus, when the disciples begin to operate in this lens, Jesus says, "Bring what you are describing as not enough to me. Bring what you have said is not enough to me." This is what Jesus is saying to you right now. If you hear him, he's saying, bring what you say is not enough in your soul. Bring those fractures that have limited your mobility. Bring that pain. Bring that grief. Bring those tears. Bring that frustration. Bring what you have recognized as not enough in this life to me. Oh, that's good. Verse 19, let's keep going. By the way, I'm reading from the Amplified. Verse 19 says, "Then he ordered the crowds to sit down on the grass. And he took the 5 loaves and the 2 fish, and looking up toward heaven, he blessed and broke the loaves and gave them to the disciples. And the disciples gave them to the people. And they all ate and were satisfied. They picked up 12 full baskets of the leftover broken pieces. There were about 5,000 men who ate, besides women and children." So you see, the disciples said, "We only have 5. We only have 5. loaves and 2 fish. Jesus said, bring it to me. Jesus took it, broke them, blessed them, multiplied them. 5 loaves and 2 fish turned to 5,000 in excess. This is your God of multiplication. 5 loaves and 2 fish turned to more than 5,000 in excess. What can't God do with what you have? You might be looking at the fractures and you say, this is what I have and this is not enough for what I want. This won't satisfy me. You go ahead and acknowledge that, because Jesus is saying, you will eat and you will be satisfied if you trust me. You will eat. That means he's going to nourish you. You will be satisfied. That means you won't want anymore. That means you won't be looking at things that's not enough. You will then be transferred to the experience of, this is enough. But you got to give it all to him. That means you're not just going through this content as if it's a fairy tale. That means you're really in your private time. You're really taking what you have to him, because you really are pursuing your Father, your physician, your shepherd. When you do this, you have a promise. He's going to multiply it. He's multiplying your strength. He's shifting your vision. So going forward, acknowledge what you don't have. Acknowledge the desert places. Go ahead and say, hey, these areas in my life, this trauma is a desert. You can say that, that's fine, but don't stop there. Don't stop at what you didn't get. Don't listen to this content and then say, I'm so upset I didn't get this from my parents. No. I want you to see what maybe you didn't get. And I also want you to see what you did get. I want you to take it all to Jesus. And in celebration, I want you to know that God is multiplying it all and he's going to provide the increase. Whatever is needed, you will be satisfied. But keep your eyes lifted. Come higher, come higher, come higher. Come higher, come higher. You can cry and you can still come higher. You can feel emotions because we are human, but come higher. Shift your perspective from what you didn't get to choosing to celebrate that which you did receive, while also maintaining a posture of faith that God is about to multiply everything and you will be satisfied. All right. Okay, we're going to end there. As you go through this next few activities, I want you to keep in your journal gratitude. So after ending this video, I want you to think about your father figure, whoever he was. And I want you, your father figure and then your mother figure, both. Go ahead and do both. And I want you to write 3 things you're grateful for. 3 things that you did get from your father. Celebrate that. Write 3 things that you did receive from your mother. Celebrate that. And then I want you to write, God is not finished. And then I want you to consciously say, God, I'm giving it all. You know what I didn't get. You know it, but you multiply what I did get, what I do have. And I want you to thank him for satisfying you. Okay? All right. Journal it all. I'll see you soon. Bye.